Hi, I'm Bridget, and thank you so much for joining me today for this gentle yoga stretch. And we're going to get started today on all fours in our tabletop for cat-cow. So take a moment to get yourself set up. We're going to stack the shoulders above the wrists, the hip points above the knees, pressing down into the tops of the feet, and then really spreading the fingers nice and wide and pressing down into all 10 fingerprints. Drop the shoulders away from the ears and flatten out through the spine. Draw the belly button up towards the spine to activate through the core. And then we're going to start to sync up the movement with the breath. So on an inhale, we're going to start to curl the tailbone up, drop through the belly, send the chest forward, maybe looking up. And exhale, curl the tailbone under, round through the spine, and let the top of the head drop down towards your mat. Inhale, we curl the tailbone up. Send the chest forward, and exhale, we round through the spine. So really seeing if you can sync each movement up with the breath, really slowing it down here, checking in with the body, warming up through the spine. Back and forth, nice and strong through the arms here. So really pressing away from your mat. And then you might like to draw a couple of circles with the spine. Move the hips from side to side, stretching through the side body. Or you might just stay moving through center. Whatever you feel like you need in your body today. And then gently coming back to center. We're going to make our way to our broken wing pose. So to do that, we're going to bring the big toes together, walk the knees as wide as your yoga mat, and then we're going to bring the left hand to the center of our mat. On an inhale, we'll reach forward through the right hand, give the fingertips a little wiggle, and then exhale, we're going to thread that right arm underneath the left, coming all the way down onto the side of the head. See if you can level out the hips when you get here. So you might like to bring that left hand to the hips and just feel where they are in space. Otherwise, you've got that left hand in front of you, pressing you into this twist, really seeing if you can thread that right arm through. Opening up through the shoulders, nice twist through the spine. You can close down the eyes here. Find the breath. And then gently we'll unravel, so press down into the left palm. We unthread the right arm, and then we're going to take it to the other side. So bring the right hand to the center. Inhale, we'll reach forward through the left arm, and then on an exhale, we thread it through underneath that right arm. Come all the way down onto the side of the head. You've got that right hand in front of you again here for support, but you might just like to bring it to the hips for a moment just to feel where they are in space. See if you can level them out. You might notice that that left hip wants to drop a little bit here. We're going to see if we can keep them in line. Thread that left arm through. You can close down the eyes here and just come back to the breath. And then when you're ready, we will unravel. So pressing down into the right palm, we press to lift back up, and we will find our child's pose, our wide-legged child's pose. So just sink the hips down towards the heels. We'll reach the arms out long in front and bring the forehead down to rest on your mat. You should feel a nice opening through the hips here as you press them down towards the heels. Nice opening through the shoulders as we reach through the arms. So we're still nice and active here in our child's pose. Relaxing through the face and the jaw. You can relax through the belly. You might rock the forehead a little bit side to side on your mat. And come back to those nice, long, deep breaths. Checking in with how you feel. And then really slowly we'll make our way back up onto the hands and knees and find our tabletop. So walking the knees back underneath the hip points, we're going to find our pigeon pose. So you might like to walk the hands forward just an inch or two. We're going to slide the right knee up behind the right wrist and then send the right toes out towards the left edge of our mat. We'll tuck the left toes under and start to walk that left knee back. Bringing the hips down to your mat. They might not come all the way down to your mat, but just towards the mat. Find the breath here. Sitting up, using the fingertips for support. Getting nice and tall through the spine. And then we'll round it forward, so coming down onto the forearms, rounding the upper body forward over that right leg. You might like to stack the hands and let the forehead rest on the hands. Close down the eyes. Send the breath to that right hip. You might feel a nice stretch through that left hip flexor here as well. And then we'll gently come back up onto the hands. Tuck those left toes back under. We'll start to walk that left knee back in and then bring the right knee back to meet the left. You might like to stretch the legs out long behind you or take a couple of circles of the hips here. Maybe just noticing how you feel on one side compared to the other. And then when you're ready, we'll find our pigeon pose on the other side. So you might like to walk forward the hands again, then slide up that left knee behind the left wrist, send the toes out towards the right edge of our mat. We'll tuck the right toes under and then walk that back knee back. That back knee back. Sitting up nice and tall. You've got the hands in front of you for support. Feeling into that left hip. And then we'll start to round it forward. So walking the palms forward, coming down onto the forearms and rounding through the head and the neck. Relax the shoulders here. Nice and soft through the arms. Again, you might like to stack the hands and just let the forehead rest. This can feel like quite an intense stretch. So just notice where the mind goes. See if you can bring the attention back to the breath. Keeping it moving. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And exhale, let it go. And we'll take one more breath here. And then slowly make our way back up onto the hands. We'll tuck those right toes under and start to walk that back knee back in. And then bring the left knee back to meet the right. Again, stretch the legs out behind you. Take a couple of circles of the hips. And then we're going to make our way to seated. So cross one foot over the other. We'll come back to seated. And we're going to close our practice with a little twist. So we'll send the right leg out nice and long in front of us, and then just bend the left knee, letting the left foot rest to the inner side of that right thigh. Then we're going to take the right elbow and cross it over to the outside edge of that left knee. Inhale, get nice and tall through the spine, and exhale to find a twist. You've got those left fingertips behind you for support. Nice and active through those right toes, so drawing them back towards you. And then you might like to look past the left shoulder. See if you can keep the hips rounding forward here, nice and long through the spine. And then exhale, we'll release and come back to center, take it to the other side. So we'll send the left leg out nice and long, and then draw the right foot in towards us, bending that right knee. And then we'll take the left elbow, hook it over the edge of to the outside edge of that right knee. Inhale, we get nice and tall through the spine, and exhale, we find our twist. Stay with the breath. And then gently we'll come back to center, and we'll find our seated, so whatever feels most comfortable for you, just to close down the eyes and come back to another moment of stillness. Let the breath start to return to normal. If you would like to add on to your practice, then feel free to do that now. Otherwise, we'll close our practice here by bringing the palms together at heart space and bowing through the head and the neck. Thank you so much for joining me for this quick practice today, and I hope you have an amazing day or night ahead of you. Namaste.